Well, for more, we can bring in our correspondent in Doha, Hoda Abdel-Hamid. Hoda, it is still unknown if the Iranians are planning to participate in these talks starting on Saturday in Islamabad. What exactly is going on here?
I think there's a lot of pre-talks posturing, which is something that happens quite commonly in these very high-stake negotiations. Now, the Iranians, as you just mentioned, have said that Lebanon is included in these negotiations, and the U.S. and Israel are saying no. But from the Iranian point of view, what's happening in Lebanon rather, is part of the axis of resistance, and it's part of the Iranian umbrella. So Iran wants to make sure that even in what happens in Lebanon in the future, if there are indeed at some point negotiations between Israel and Lebanon as it's being floated around, but there's no assurance on that either, but wants to make sure that it's part of the conversation. I think in the end, Iran will go to Islamabad simply because it doesn't want to be seen as the one that ruined all the negotiations. So it will go there, but the stakes are very high for that country and also for the United States on the other side, that a lot of posturing and declarations and statements were probably issued from now to then.
Meanwhile, Hoda, the US is reportedly putting a lot of pressure on the Israelis to ease up on their strikes on Lebanon, or rather Hezbollah targets in Lebanon, as the IDF says. And it seems that is bearing fruit.
It is bearing fruit, even though there have been attacks today, but certainly not at the scope and the level we have seen yesterday. So certainly it is working to a certain point. That comes from a lot of pressure from the Trump administration on Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who apparently he was told to, quote unquote, cool it down or bring it to a low-key level of fighting, at least during these negotiations until the end of the negotiation. But the situation in Lebanon is very complicated, maybe even more complicated than the situation with Iran, simply because Israel also has some territorial wishes when it comes to Israel. It wishes to occupy a part of that country, at least until the Litani River. It's something that it has wished since a long time. It failed in the past. It's trying to do it now, calling it a buffer zone for the security of Israel. Now, what happens to Hezbollah is the big question. And I think at the end of the day, all of that will be together on the same file on some table when the negotiations kick off.
Hoda Abdel-Hamid, thank you very much.